I don't think anyone is having a worse day than Maxine Waters.
10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took
shut
up the
up?
housing stock of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentlelady's time has expired.
I don't understand. Why would you invite someone to testify in Congress if you don't actually want them to talk, to testify? Anyway, we will have much more of Scott Bessent's masterclass of trolling Maxine Waters later. You're not going to want to mess up. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. So when you talk about the things that actually upset the left, upset liberals, there's a lot going on. There's a lot they're upset about. They obviously are Karens. One of the things is like ICE deporting illegals. We all know they want the gang members to stay. They want the illegals to stay. They want the child predators to stay. They want all of the bad people to stay. But there's another thing that just really just grinds their gears. And it's, of course, talking about the separation of church and state, right? Like they get so mad anytime anyone, any Christian, if you don't teach religion in schools, we have the separation of church and state. You're not allowed to pray at school. We have the separation of church and state. How dare you go into the end zone and bend down on one knee and pray in your football games? We have separation of church and state. You're not allowed to do that. You know, we had several states that tried to put the 10 Commandments into classrooms. We did it in Texas. Actually, we got it done. But the ACLU can't stand when you try to put the 10 Commandments into classrooms. The ACLU, I mean, I could show you, I'll show you this headline. I could show you headline after headline. Lawmakers can't turn classrooms into Sunday schools. From Arkansas to Oklahoma, politicians are pushing religion into public schools. The ACLU is fighting back, oh yeah, to defend church-state separation and students' rights. Like they can't stand if you try to teach Christianity, if you try to preach the Bible inside the schools. They are right there to tell you how there has to be a separation of church and state. And I'm just wondering, if we will hear the same outrage from the ACLU on this next story. I'm wondering if the ACLU is going to have the same level of outrage when Islam starts invading schools, because it's happening, guys. It's happening. Here in Texas, we talk about the Islamification of this country. At Wiley East High School here in Texas, there were a bunch of people, apparently, handing out Qurans, hijabs, and pamphlets in this neat little baggie, all on Sharia law. Take a look.
Okay, so I'm Marco. I'm the president of the High School Republicans at Wiley East High School. And today there was an organization called Why Islam, and they were giving hijabs to Muslim girls out throughout the high school, and they were giving out Qurans, and they also had pamphlets about Sharia law and other Islamic things, and they were giving out these bags. And I had a discussion with the women that were there, and we're trying to understand what's going on.
And it was during the school day, right?
Yes, it was during lunch.
During lunch.
And we typically have colleges come out, or we have our clubs have tables, but we've never had a faith group, to my understanding.
Your taxpayer money going to that, for students to learn that, I guess. Now, I will give credit where credit is due, I guess. I will also take back the credit when that's due as well. But the school put out a statement almost immediately. I mean, you could imagine the backlash, right? By the way, I know the friend of mine is who was interviewing that young man. And so they sent me the video and they were like, hey, you got to get this out. We can't believe this is happening. So I got it out. But the school very quickly, once this started spreading like wildfire, people are like, how the hell is this happening in the state of Texas? The school did put out a statement. And what they said was the group was unauthorized by the school. The school didn't know it. They were invited by a student club, which you know which student club that was, right? The school district released a statement which reads in part, if proper protocols had been followed, this incident would not have occurred. We take that very seriously. Mistakes were made and we take full responsibility. We are actively addressing the lapses and reviewing our internal procedures and staff oversight related to student clubs and guest approvals to ensure incidents like this do not happen again. So, as I said, I think you can guess which student club set this up. Of course, it was the Wiley East Muslim Student Association. And so they were promoting World Hijab Day on their socials. And they openly stated that the goals were to educate people about Islam and the purpose of the hijab, to get non-Muslim women to try on hijab for a day. Just try it. You'll like it. Just try it. Just try it once. You'll like it. You'll enjoy the oppression that you feel when you put it on. Just try it. To clarify misconceptions and stereotypes of the Muslim veil. Oh, it's a veil. It's very fancy. It's just a veil. And to give dawah to non-Muslims about Islam. Now, dawah is an Arabic word that linguistically means to invite or to call, but contextually within their particular religion, it signifies the calling of humanity to the beauty of Islam. With especially, let's not let it be lost on us, especially with specific regard to women and the hijab. Isn't it so interesting that they're like, oh, the humanity, calling the humanity to the beauty of Islam. It's just so beautiful that they oppress women. It's just so beautiful that in Muslim majority countries where they have Sharia law, they stone women to death for adultery. It's just so beautiful that if you're gay, they throw you off of a building. It's just so beautiful that they still have acid attacks in all of these Muslim majority countries where Islam is like their actual government. It's so beautiful that they have like honor killings. It's so beautiful that the male members of the family just kill a woman if she steps out of line and has an affair. It's just so beautiful. That's the beauty of Islam. That's just the beauty of Islam. And they want more people to hear about it. Now, the curious thing about this particular high school is that it doesn't seem to be an isolated incident of promoting Sharia law on school grounds. And again, I would ask, is Christianity recognized to this particular level at Wiley East High School? I think we all know the answer to that question. They have daily prayer rooms. Do her prayer every day at 1:25. We're going to go ahead and accommodate you. So if it's time, you can just stop what you're doing at school, make your way over. Hey, freedom of religion, man. Freedom of religion. You got to have the prayer room. You got to pray 5 times a day. I mean, why not put it on the loudspeaker throughout the city at this point? You got to have it in the school. What do you want to be oppressive? Freedom of religion, man. Now, what's particularly interesting about this is that while the school, remember I said I'll give credit where credit is due, and then I'll take credit back a little bit if they're due that as well. The principal, I guess, obviously approved the statement that said, we don't know what happened. Well, there's the principal right there. Last year, the principal celebrated World Hijab Day by wearing a hijab herself. Yesterday, our MSA, Muslim Student Association, created an opportunity for everyone to experience the beauty of wearing a hijab on World Hijab Day. I loved this experience. Like, oh, okay, you mean to tell me that the principal who is going to virtue signal by I loved the experience. Like, I'm sorry, does it give you superpowers? What do you mean you loved the experience of putting a fabric on your head? Does it give you a high? Like, what do you mean you loved the experience? Clearly she's virtue signaling. So I have a hard time believing that same woman who had to post about it on social media, I love the experience of having silk fabric on my head, is the same one who was like, I have no idea what happened. They didn't go through the proper protocol. We will definitely not make this mistake again. I'm not backtracking because of the outrage that this caused. Like, I just have a hard time believing that the principal that did that is the same principal who this was just an oopsies. It was just an oversight. It was just an error. It won't happen again. That doesn't track. Now, I'm sure the ACLU will get right on this, right? They're going to be very outraged that all of these Christian students had to deal with this. I'm sure they're going to be screaming about the separation of church and state. Like, don't hold your breath waiting for the ACLU to go file some lawsuit. But obviously, the greater issue at hand here is the issue that I always talk about. Sharia law, that's the whole plan. That's the goal for this country. It's in their holy books. It's in all of their religious texts. Go look it up. It's what they did every single time they went in to conquer. The entire goal, and that is why this is not a freedom of religion issue. Their particular religion is not just a religion, it is a form of governance. They need Sharia law to be the form of governance. That is what their religion calls for. That's why you can't treat this as a dumb freedom of religion issue. That's not what this is. They are saying the quiet parts out loud, and they have seen how all of the liberals have had such success with indoctrination of children in schools. They see they're producing all these little commies. Why don't we turn them into Muslim commies? Now, here are some other things that are happening in Texas. I will say there are some Republicans that are taking a stand, specifically the Sharia Free Caucus, which I'm about to show you a clip here. One of those people is my congressman, Representative Brandon Gill, but also here in the state of Texas, Representative Keith Self. Listen.
Here's what's happening right now in the Lone Star State. There are multiple Muslim-only housing developments that already exist or are in the planning stages, including the Meadows, Epic City, right there in my district. It's currently under investigation by the state of Texas. An Islamic imam in Dallas called the police on a fellow Muslim for simply talking to a Christian pastor. An imam in the Houston area was filmed threatening to occupy stores that sold goods that are incompatible with Sharia. These examples multiply daily. The spread has gotten so serious that on March the 3rd, a proposition to ban Sharia will appear on the Texas primary ballot. And I encourage all Texans to go to and vote for that proposition. Because as Texas goes, so goes the nation. And as the nation goes, so goes the world.
It's sad that it's come to this, but I mean, like you'd say, oh, well, obviously we already banned Sharia because we have the Constitution. And so you can't allow Sharia law because it's incompatible with the Constitution. It's incompatible with the United States. Right. But interestingly enough, the people in Dearborn have done a pretty great job. They've got very little pushback in creating their little like Muslim cities where they play the prayers on the loudspeaker 5 times a day. So it's not going great over there. This is happening in the state of Texas. We better get a handle on this now. Now, we were going to do a segment on Monday poking a little fun at World Hijab Day, but I don't know. I mean, it seems a lot more sinister than that. That's probably the plan, right? It's like, oh, this cute little fun World Hijab Day. I'm going to put a piece of fabric on my head and post about it on my Instagram. And then a whole bunch of other people are going to see. And then we're going to normalize it. Because Google says that the Hijab Day is to dismantle hijabophobia. There's a lot going on there. Let's circle back to that. To dismantle hijabophobia, promote religious freedom, and educate the public on why many Muslim women wear the hijab. Well, because if they don't, they will be murdered, probably. By the way, it's celebrated in over 150 countries. Hijabophobia. Stephen, have you ever, anytime you see a woman in a hijab, do you get like a jump scare? You go like, ah!
I mean, a little bit, but.
It's a hijab! Oh my God, it's a piece of fabric. Like, no one is scared. I'm not scared. I don't have an irrational fear of a piece of fabric wrapped around a woman's head. I have a fear of these Muslims coming into my country and then telling me if I don't submit to their bullshit religion and their bullshit form of governance that they're going to kill me, which is actually precisely what they're called to do. Now, I also wouldn't call that an irrational fear. I would call that a completely reasonable fear, considering the places that I just mentioned, Michigan, Minnesota, and then even New York itself with the Muslim commie. Well, with the Muslim commie come New York Police Department officers bragging about, yes, their hijabs.
I've been wearing hijab for 15 years as an NYPD member of service, and I'm super proud of this department of where we came. We came from where there was barely any Muslim officers to where we have over 1,200 members of service.
That's terrifying.
And over 10 ladies wearing hijab as a member of service, uniform member of service. And I think that's awesome. And I'm looking forward for another 100,000 ladies wearing hijabs in the near future as an NYPD.
Yep, I know you are. That's kind of the whole master plan.
I also want to say a message to the sisters in the room. Wear your hijab, sisters. Be confident in it. Don't let nobody tell you different. Wear it with pride, right? Because remember, we wear it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, and everything else is going to fall in place. It's okay to be different.
I love that even the subtitles there were like, no idea what she said. Cannot transcribe. I'm sorry. I don't like, I am actually proud. I'm proud to not wear a hijab. I'm proud that you can see my hair right now. I am very proud that I reject all of that. I am very proud that Jesus Christ is my savior. Like, I would love to hear a police officer stand up and talk about that. I would love to hear that from NYPD. Unfortunately, you won't. But this is really, really terrifying, you guys. Do you think that the New York Police Department officer wearing her hijab, who is called to some disturbance where a Jewish person is being threatened by a Muslim terrorist, which happens in the streets of New York? If you guys have watched this program for a while, we played it. Like, how serious do you think that woman in the hijab is going to take that call? This is really scary stuff, and we've got to get it under control. Again, shout out to the Sharia Free Caucus. I loved the press conference yesterday. I love the energy, but that needs to translate into actual legislation to prevent what is happening in Minnesota and Michigan from ever even getting off the ground. All right, make sure you're subscribed to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Smash the like button and comment. It'll help us in the algorithm, which we all know is stacked against us. Also, go over to Sara Gonzales TX on YouTube. That's our new YouTube channel. We're trying a thing. We're trying a thing. That's all I'm going to say right now. But there is exclusive content over there, Sara Gonzales TX, that you won't even find on this page. So make sure you're subscribed both places. By the way, I want to thank our sponsor, GhostBed. So GhostBed is really, really awesome. So if you're looking for a new mattress, obviously, like, mattresses mean something. That's where you go get your actual sleep, where your whole body and your brain recuperates. So if you're waking up stiff, if you're tossing and turning, if you're sleeping hot, like you wake up and you're all sweaty, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping like, oh God, this night's going to be different. That's your mattress. That's your mattress saying it's time to upgrade to GhostBed. By the way, you get 101 nights to try GhostBed at home. If you don't feel the difference, you can send it back risk-free. GhostBed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off if you go to ghostbed.com/Sara, promo code Sara. If you sleep hot, guys, they've got like the technology where it keeps you cool. It's super comfortable. Ghostbed.com/Sara. Use promo code Sara. You know, mainstream media, they make it very easy to shit on them all the time about just how left-leaning they are. I mean, I shouldn't even say leaning. They are all the way in far left radicals. But I said earlier, I like to give credit where credit is due, okay? And every now and again, you'll come across someone who actually asks a question that's on everyone's minds, who doesn't care that they're going to perhaps upset the person that they're speaking to, that they're interviewing. And they're like, you know what? I'm going to say what's on everyone's mind. I'm going to ask the tough questions, even if it gets a little tense. Like, did Bill Gates get an STD from his parties with Jeffrey Epstein and then later on go try to forcibly in secret give his wife antibiotics? That is a pressing question. And Bill Gates actually sat down. I don't know why he's like, oh, I know. I have this big scandal and the Epstein files just dropped. I'm going to sit down and do an interview with a news network. But he did. He sat down for an interview with an Australian news network, and the reporter, by gosh, actually asked him about it. Watch.
You've no doubt seen the allegations, including some of them from the last 24 to 48 hours. Are they true?
No, apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. Was he trying to attack me in some way? But, it just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that.
The problem is some of the things that he has sent and some of the information about other people that has come up in those files has been true. Why would he do this and say this about you, do you think?
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so,
Right.
The more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Right, I'm sure. He's it's really actually great to see him squirm in this interview. And I keep looking at his expressions and his demeanor, and I'm like, I want to know what he is thinking, what is going on in his mind. So we decided to reach out to a body language expert who can give us some insight. Scott Rouse is a world-leading body language expert and behavior analyst. He is part of the group, the Behavior Panel. Welcome to the show, Scott. What an amazing topic to be here for. First time on Sara Gonzales Unfiltered to talk about whether or not Bill Gates was squirming in his chair while being asked if he gave his wife an STD from Russian hookers.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like shooting, fish in a barrel, to sound corny, but yeah, it's a tough one for him. But shoot, he leans right into it. So
yeah, I mean, so you see things that we can't. You're the expert. I'm not. I obviously have my own opinion, but I want you to break down in the clip we just watched what you see as the expert in the room from Bill Gates' reaction when he asks about the STD stuff.
Okay, well, this is a prepared answer. He knows he's going to be asked these questions. Why would they want to have an interview with him? Or maybe he set it up. Maybe he knows this guy. I don't know. But this is a prepared answer. We know that because the structure of his sentences is different than the sentences that are structured for just talking. This is a fairly long interview, and I watched the whole thing. And if you'll watch before this, if you ever get a chance, then you'll notice the sentences are longer and they're flowing. And we call that loping, when someone's just loping along as he answers questions. There's not as many ahs or uhs and things like that. He starts this thing with his head where he's going back and forth with his head. He'll shake his head no, but then he'll shake his head yes, and he'll go back and forth. We call that bobblehead. And when that happens, that person's got, he's actually restructuring or structuring a sentence or his delivery of the sentence of what he's going to talk about. He doesn't seem shocked when the question comes up. He seems prepared for it. That's another thing. Usually we look for things called adapters, little things we do to get rid of that built-up stress and tension. It'll be anything from doing something like this to touching your face. He'll do that with his glasses. He does this. And it's just a little adjustment, but it helps get rid of that built-up stress that he's feeling that's building from this. Because when he's delivering this thing, he's thinking about what he's saying as he's saying it. It's really odd because he's prepared this answer. Mm-hmm. And most of the time people think, oh, I can tell when someone's lying because they break eye contact with me. In this interview beforehand, he's all the time looking around and talking, and then he'll look at the interviewer and then he'll look around and talk. Here, he's mostly he's not eye locked, but he's mostly paying attention to the guy asking the questions. So that lets us know that he's really focused on these because he knows it's important. When someone looks away, they're not being deceptive most of the time. What they're doing is they're just thinking. That's all that's going on there. Most people think you break eye contact and it means you're lying.
Yeah.
In this situation, he doesn't break eye contact as much as he did earlier. So that's a red flag for me as well. His illustrators, the things that your brain emphasizes specific words and phrases when you talk, like I did just then, specific words and phrases. And when those don't land on the words when you're talking, or they get out there and they just sit there like that, then something's up as well. That also lets you know there's inner dialogue going on because your brain is saying, man, we're lying. We shouldn't be doing this. And he's thinking that as he's thinking what he's going to say as he delivers what he's saying. There are so many things that happen when someone is under a situation like this. Their stress level rises. We see so many things that tell us that he's prepared for this, like we were talking about a second ago, but that it's stressful for him because we see he makes these little. He doesn't have Parkinson's or anything like that, and these aren't intention tremors that somebody gets when they're reaching for something. They'll start have a little tremor. These are from nervousness. If you look really closely, you see his head shaking really quickly and his shoulders shaking really quickly. It's really small, but they're there as well. But that comes from the stress, the buildup that keeps building as he's asked these questions about this.
And I would imagine that it's red flags that he keeps fumbling over his because as you point out, if this is a prepared answer, there's no reason for you to stumble on your words like that.
Right. And because he's restructuring to make sure he's as he's speaking, he's listening to himself. I just did it then when I had that pause because you're making sure everything you're saying is correct and you're getting your point across. But he's making extra sure because he knows how important this is. And I'm sure this is the only reason he's done this interview because he knows those questions are going to come up. The interview with his ex-wife just came out, and there's a lot of focus on that as well. So he's prepared for this, and there's no way that somebody that's been on the world stage like he has for so long and is so experienced with talking to the world that he wouldn't prepare for this. I'm sure he's been up early, got up early today or yesterday, whenever this thing was, and got ready for this. And he's got his everything blocked and ready to go for his answers. No matter what you ask him about Epstein, he's got an answer for it.
Yeah.
He's got a good answer for it.
Well, you say he was probably up early. I don't even know if he has slept since the Epstein files dropped. Honestly, he's probably been like, oh no. So I want to play the moment that he was first asked about Epstein.
Part of that issue of trust brings me to Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know what your relationship with him was.
Yeah, I met Jeffrey in 2011. So over a period of 3 years, I had a number of dinners with him. The focus was always, he knew a lot of very rich people, and he was saying he could get them to give money to global health. You know, in retrospect, that was a dead end, and I've said many times, but I'll say again, I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him.
So what say you on whether or not he regrets it based on that body language there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he regrets doing it. He regrets getting caught. That's the look of that. It's the way that looks. Now, what's happening here is when he's asked about it, we can tell nothing changes in his face. He's got that little smile on his face. Nothing changes because he's prepped for it. He knows something like that's coming, and when it does, he's ready. And when he breaks eye contact here, there's nothing to looking down to the right or to the left, and it means you're lying or telling the truth or anything like that. When we break eye contact and look down to one side or the other, up or down or whatever, that just means we're thinking about our answer, recalling something. So in this situation, you'll see him break away in each section that he talks about, the 3 sections there. He'll break away and think about, he'll be remembering what he's supposed to say, what he's rehearsed. It happens really quickly. When you do something like that. So that's what we're seeing in that situation there. Then as he goes through, again, you'll see him at the third one, you'll see him lock eyes with the interviewer, and they don't go away very much at all because he knows this has to be good, and he knows what he's going to say. There's not much to it there. It can flow better for him. But he's speaking, his cadence is much faster than it was throughout the rest of the interview. Because when something like this happens, it's stressful, of course, but you want to get through it fast. Now, he's not talking as fast as I'm talking because I'm a fast talker, but he's talking much faster than he was in the rest of the interview. And he's not as loud as he was in the rest of the interview either, because when he talks, I don't know if he's got a hearing problem or what, but he talks like he's yelling almost. So it gets kind of loud. But in here, you can hear it's probably 3 or 4 dB lower than what's been happening so far. And at the end of some of these things, like in the very end of this interview, or this section of questions, it gets quieter at the end of those questions. And that's because we call that fading facts, because your brain's saying, hey man, hang on a minute, we're lying, we shouldn't be saying this. So it gets quieter as you go along.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. That is, okay. This is fascinating. So then let me ask you about this one. Again, credit where credit is due. The reporter, I think, did a pretty decent job of follow-up questions, even though Bill Gates was pretty uncomfortable. And so he asked about Epstein one more time. Watch.
Is it frustrating to you, given what you've said, that this is now happening?
Not really. I mean, people should, hold people who are successful to a very high bar. And so, it's as these documents come out, they're going to be closely scrutinized.
Really? He's not frustrated at all?
Yeah, that you'd have to be insane to think that wouldn't cause stress, or that wouldn't frustrate you, especially with what's going on around that. The things orbiting what's happening there. Epstein's the biggest story in ever. He's in the middle of it. His wife just gave an interview, and she's talking about what she thinks about what happened. People are asking her questions, so of course it's frustrating. He didn't want to hear that. And this is the first time we actually hear him when he hits his leg, when he puts his hand back down really hard. He doesn't realize that he's doing that, but that's called an adapter as well, because he's got all that stress happening and he accidentally slaps his leg. For somebody like that answer is almost the perfect question to be given, because he's used to answering things like that. That's all fluff there. There's really not much there. He's just talking about, successful people should be responsible. We expect this and we know that. They should be held up to this. So that's normal for him. And I think I've heard him actually say something similar to that before. So that one's he's got that one loaded all the time. He's ready to go. So that one wasn't as stressful as the others, although I think he's got the feeling that's the last of it because of the way the question was posed, or they're getting toward the end of it. So I think that's why he was a little more relaxed in that as well.
I just feel like a normal, like if you're a normal person who, I don't know, say, call me crazy, but you never went and had sex with Russian hookers and gave your wife an STD and then tried to secretly drug her, you would say, if it's me, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because I didn't do anything, and now I have to I have to convince everyone that I didn't do these things. I feel like it would be a very normal behavior. People would understand if he would just admit, yes, I'm frustrated. That wouldn't necessarily mean that you did it, right?
Right. And there would be anger there. We don't see any anger in him at all. We don't see anything happening up in the forehead, up in the brow. See some concern there, but we don't see any grief. The grief muscle happens when these two muscles in your brow push together, in the glabella, we call that group of muscles, they push together, and this comes down. It makes this upside down horseshoe looking thing. And that's what happens. We see that when someone is in a great deal of pain, or someone in their family has passed away, or a friend, that kind of thing. They're grieving over something, or something's really bothering them really bad. We'll see that. We don't see that here at all. Nothing like that. And there should be anger here. If you didn't do that and you're being accused of it, there'd be all kinds of doing this kind of thing. And then he'd be hitting his leg. He'd be sitting up straight saying, let me tell you something.
Yep.
That's because people don't act that way when they're not being accused of something. If they didn't do it, you're going to see anger in there. We're not seeing any, not even a little bit.
Yeah, exactly right. I think we all know why. All right, last thing here, Scott. Let's scrutinize the documents, okay? So he said he never met any women with Jeffrey Epstein. I believe, there appears to be a woman and redacted face. Now, I know you're a body language expert. I don't guess that you could tell if this is the woman who gave him the STD.
Who knows? I don't know.
And you can't see her face, so that's not even a fair question for you, because then you can't read her body language and her face. She is leaning into him. It does seem rather friendly, I would say. But I won't put you on the hot seat with that too much. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me at just scottrouse.com, or on YouTube. Just put in Scott Rouse and my channel will pop right up.
Yeah, I love that. You've got a bunch of YouTube play buttons behind you. Obviously, Scott Rouse is the real deal. He's got all the YouTube play buttons to prove it. So make sure to follow him. This is actually really fascinating, and I appreciate your time. Will you come back soon?
Yes, I'd love to.
Wonderful. Perfect.
Just let me know.
I love this is. I mean, I'm a woman, so I do love a certain level of gossip. I can't help it. So I appreciate you, Scott. We'll do it again soon. Make sure to follow Scott on YouTube, and follow him at his website. We want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is there for those of you who, if you're still with Big Mobile, I don't know what you're waiting. I don't know what you're waiting on. Big Mobile is taking your money and they're funding left-leaning causes. I know this because I'll go to like the fairs for drag queens for kids and stuff. And T-Mobile's got like this big float and they're giving kids little temporary tattoos of trans flags and stuff like that. Don't do that. Don't fund that. Instead, go over to Patriot Mobile. They are proudly America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. And they've been on the front lines defending our freedoms long before it was cool. Now it's kind of cool. We're taking back the culture. They were doing it when it was counterculture. And the best part is they're going to deliver prioritized premium service on all 3 major U.S. networks. So you're going to get the same or even better coverage in some cases. And also they can customize your plan. And you can keep your number or you can get a new one. You can keep your phone or you can get a new one. They will help you customize it to your liking. And all you got to do is go check them out, patriotmobile.com/Sara. I'm not telling you like, go do it, sign up right now. I'm just saying, go check out their plans because I've heard from a lot of people, they're actually saving you money as well. So that's a win-win. Patriotmobile.com/Sara. Use promo code Sara for a free month of service. That is patriotmobile.com/Sara. As we know, President Trump is the troller in chief. Like, he is just the master troller. And what's great is that he's put other people in his cabinet that are also master trollers, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. And boy, let me tell you, it pays off in spades when you do that. He was in front of a bunch of Congress people at the House Financial Services Committee. There was a hearing and, he was trying to talk about U.S. financial stability. But Maxine Waters entered the picture and she was trying really hard to like make it about her. They do this big spectacle now. But it was really, really brilliant of Scott Bessent to just decide, you know what? I'm going to take back the show and it's going to be my show. And now I'm going to make you look like the dum-dum that you are.
Levied tariffs on housing production goods like lumber and steel, as well as appliances. These tariffs will result in half.
Lumber is
reclaiming my time. You don't get to talk.
Lumber is at a 5-year low, Congresswoman.
Reclaiming my time.
Let's just have the facts.
Reclaiming my time.
Oh
Thank you.
Gosh. Reclaiming my time. Is that a song? I think she just made that into a song. Can someone please make that into like auto-tune song? I want that song. So listen, I could play a couple other clips for you, but I do want to get to my next guest pretty soon. But I just want to, let's play Maxine Waters as she does. She doesn't know anything about anything, specifically not inflation. And Scott Bessent really called her out for that. Watch.
I believe the ranking member does not understand the definition of generalized inflation versus one-time price increases. I would also note that housing, especially for working Americans, a Wharton study has shown that the mass unfettered immigration, adding 10 to 20 million new people demanding housing, Congresswoman, is what caused a great deal of housing inflation for working Americans. So you and the Biden administration should be ashamed.
It's incredible. These people rise to the level of Congress and they have no idea how anything works. And then I would be remiss if I didn't play Scott Bessent triggering Massachusetts Representative Stephen Lynch.
Serious question and a serious issue for the financial services industry, especially as the Secretary of the Treasury. Well, that's an important. No, this is my time. I haven't asked any more questions. I haven't asked you any more questions.
It's the gentleman from Massachusetts.
I'm trying to get to my next question.
Could you speak a little louder? I can't hear you.
Yeah, okay. I might.
That's what these leftists, they don't understand the microphone actually projects your voice. You don't have to yell into it. You don't have to yell into it. That's what this little device is in front of you. These people are so ridiculous. They don't know anything about anything. Those are the people in charge of creating your laws, guys. Don't forget that. All right, we've got more to come. We'll be right back. Joining me now is a familiar face, my friend, comedian Dave Landau, who just happens to be in town. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. I have a mustache, so it's not as familiar.
A mustachio.
It hides my double chin, I'm told. It doesn't.
No, but the chin's down.
It's still bare and very, very obvious.
So, Dave, do you have a show here?
No.
Oh, you're just chilling?
Yeah, I'm just hanging out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell everyone where they can find you.
They can find me at davelandau.com, or they can go. Oh, you meant in the city?
No, I meant.
Oh, I got you.
Find your shows online.
Okay.
DaveLandau.com.
Yes, and also
buy his
this
book.
weekend I'll be in Florida, Fort Myers, and my book, yes, Party of One, a fuzzy memoir.
Okay, overachiever.
Yeah. no.
Anywho, you are getting some heat for
Yes.
something that you said on Fox News. I believe that we have that clip.
Cool.
What this comes down to is you look at somebody like Bad Bunny, or you look at somebody like Trevor Noah. They don't actually have the ability to talk trash in their own countries. So they come to America, make a great living the American dream, insulting our country, because they know in their homeland they would be killed for doing the very same thing.
Now, Media Matters like, oh, Puerto Rico's actually a United States territory, dummy.
Correct. They put out this so people would let me know that Puerto Rico's a territory, because I clearly would have no idea of such things. And basically, I've had a hit put out on me by a lot of these people. I mean, a literal one.
Shut the
up. One guy's like, I'm coming out to your show in Savannah. And I said, okay, you can come. He's like, no, seriously, I'm not messing around. And I looked at like a lot of his pictures and I said, oh, are you bringing your wife? I'll reserve 3 seats. And that was Live, Laugh, Hike, in case anybody wants to look up his charity, because once I brought up why he had so much time and money on his hands, he stopped talking to me. But now it's just like death threats, docs. Like, it's just, the usual, like, insane response, because Media Matters is a horrible company owned by, which you guys should share this clip. Talk about how you are funded by George Soros. Do that, Media Matters. Keep complaining about white billionaires, too, to tell your people that white billionaires are a problem when you're funded by white billionaires.
Where did you think that Bad Bunny was from?
I thought Colombia.
Yeah.
Here's why. I don't care. Even when I was here, I think it's very obvious that I wasn't actually watching the news. I was just trying to find stories. All I knew about Bad Bunny was they said he didn't speak English, and the left, that is, was worried that ICE was going to take him at the Super Bowl because he's an illegal. That's all I heard from the left.
Yeah.
Then I said that he was from somewhere else.
And they're like,
Turns out he's from Puerto Rico.
God, you're racist.
Exactly. I'm a monster.
Well,
so I don't know that Puerto Rico's a territory. I'm a complete idiot.
Right, you're an idiot and you're a racist.
Yes, an idiot and a racist. And I don't know enough about Bad Bunny.
Right, yeah, shame on you.
I'm not even watching the Super Bowl. I don't usually watch it because I'm a Lions fan and there's no need to watch it.
Well, being that I can't help them, they think that you're an idiot.
It's fine.
I can't help you there, but I thought that maybe we would put you through some racial, cultural sensitivity training.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so, but just for the viewers, just so they can have fun, we're doing a game show, okay? The categories are...
All right.
WTF, What the Flag?
Okay.
The Oriental Express, Where in the World, Know Your Roots, and Amazing Race. And we will see which one we get, how many we get through. Now, you're stuck with whatever I choose, okay?
Deal.
So we're going WTF, What the Flag. So you don't know what Bad Bunny, where he's from, obviously, dummy. Do you know which of these is the Puerto Rican flag?
Yes, it's it's number 7. I'm kidding, it's 3.
Oh my gosh, I really thought that you...
No, it's 3.
You're going at 7. Okay, all right, good. All right, you're passing so far. Good job, Dave. You passed so far. Okay, you ready for the Oriental?
I thought it was the United States flag. People keep telling me to open a history book, but they wanted them all burned. Anyway, go ahead.
So I very badly want to bring Oriental back.
Okay.
I think that it's fancier. I think why do we have to use Asian? I think that Oriental sounds way cooler. And the game of Monopoly still has Oriental as one of the properties.
Oh, you're right, it does.
Yeah.
I
play it with my son all the time.
It's a very nice word.
I like it. I think that it reflects well on them. Okay, so we're gonna go to the Oriental Express. According to the liberals, you should know what race people are based on how they look, the color of their skin, whatever. So this is a speed round. You have 30 seconds to match the Asian to their country. Start the clock. Go.
Okay, China is in the middle.
Okay.
Korea. Oh boy. Japan is to the right and Korea is to the left.
Trick question. They're all Chinese and you're a racist.
Oh!
Yeah.
But I knew the middle guy.
Yeah. Who is the middle guy?
He's the dictator. He's the big guy. He's the head honcho.
Look at you.
Yeah. I know who China is.
So you get a little bit
I love their
of,
food.
Yes.
I have
Don't
the
love
fried
the
rice.
communism.
No, the communism's bad.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Minnesota and you're fighting for communism for some reason.
And then it's good.
It's too cold. You can't believe in something that much when it's that cold.
I honestly, that's part of the impressive.
Yeah.
I am a little bit impressed by that.
It's -20. I'm from Michigan.
Yeah. You can't get me outside for anything in
No
that
one's
weather.
paying you.
Well, that's
You'd
fair
have
as
to
well.
be paid.
That's fair as well. That's true.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, now that was mean.
What was?
Tricking me.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit mean.
In fairness, I know the Chinese guy because the flag was behind him.
When you know flags, apparently.
Pretty good with
You
flags.
aced the flag one.
Yeah, people have called me it a lot without the L this last day.
Yeah, well, I got threatened to be sued over calling someone that. Anywho, that's a story
really?
for. Oh yeah, that's a story for a different
What
time.
a flag.
So, okay, where in the world you should be able to know where someone was born based off of a picture of them, I guess, if we're following the left's logic.
Okay.
So you tell me, where was this man born?
The United States.
Have you seen a real birth certificate?
Well, there's ideas that he was not. I'm aware of that.
Have you seen the birth certificate?
What is the birth certificate? I know it's a few places. Was it Egypt?
Well, if you believe the conspiracies, it was Kenya.
Well, I know that. But I'm saying, did we find one that said something else? I can't say Kenya, though, because he was president. I got to say the United States, or else he couldn't be president.
Oh, right, because Joe Biden won in the safest and most secure election. 81 million votes, so of course nothing crazy could happen that would land someone the presidency, even though they didn't actually deserve it or go through all of the proper channels, Dave.
No. We know that the president was of sound mind and body right up until Jake Tapper wrote a book about how he knew the whole time that he was not.
I was like, oh!
Which was shocking.
I was super shocked.
I was
Okay.
like, you tell me that guy didn't know shit?
Right, exactly. Okay, last question I have for you. Well, we got to skip.
Okay.
Amazing Race. Is this woman black or Jewish?
Both. No, she's black. She took the name Goldberg on after she got into comedy. That's not her real name.
Really?
Yeah, her name's not Whoopi Goldberg.
You're so good at this. Have you ever thought about going into Jeopardy?
I have, but apparently I'm a moron.
And we're back to that. Hey, you know what?
I would lose.
Send this to Media Matters because Dave Landau, which you can find at davelandau.com for all of his shows. Dave Landau knows his stuff. He knows his flags. Wait, get Dave waving.
Hi. Hi. It's from the side.